All right, welcome to another podcast episode of Everything Money.
So you got your car.
I did get my car this morning. The saga's not done yet.
Of it?
What?
Was Jackie in there?
Jackie Boy was not in there. We did not get the car from Jackie Boy. We got it from another dealership who, yeah. I like the salesman a lot. It is a nice car.
Mo, guess what the guy that delivered it, he was wearing a hat. Paul didn't notice it.
I already forgot what the hat said.
It said, "I don't call 911."
Oh, that's right.
Sounds like a delivery guy. That's awesome.
When he first called me yesterday, I was on the couch with Lisa. So Lisa was right next to my head. And it sounded like, I didn't know if he was like Russian.
My guess would be Russian.
He wasn't though.
They're
He's
all
American.
Russian. Okay.
That's what I said. I was like, oh, this guy must be, I said, hung up. I'm like, man, I could barely understand that guy. He must be Russian because they all deliver who are Russian.
Was he from the South or something?
Oh, yeah. Like, I think he was missing an eye.
Like Louisiana.
Like
I
he was
can't
like this.
understand people from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like New Orleans.
Pronounce it the way they do.
Nolans.
Nolans. There you go.
It sounds like
Narlands.
It's like a country accent mixed with marbles in your mouth. I can't understand them. But I think that's a pretty common thing. But anyways. Did you watch the Masters?
I watched a little bit of it. I was really upset Phil Mickelson failed. I've always been anti-Phil Mickelson. I've not.
Really?
Yeah, I've never liked the guy.
Why is that? He just rubs you the wrong way?
Yeah, I just think he's a douche. Listen, it's all subjective. You know, Tigers can be a douchebag, but like I just don't like Phil. I've never liked Phil. Is he a great player? Absolutely.
He gave it a run.
Oh yeah.
He was him and Jordan Spieth on day
Spieth
4.
is awesome. See, I like Spieth.
They were tearing it up.
I like Spieth.
They were absolutely tearing it up. And John Rahm was on another level. You know, he was playing so well that I was just hoping that he would hit shots that were like approach shots that were like outside of 15 feet so he would get a par. Just because he was so locked in. And Brooks, that was a collapse.
Well,
I do think the
he
waiting.
still finished second.
He played very well the whole weekend. I think the waiting screwed him, but John Rahm, obviously, the waiting did not screw him.
So how does something screw somebody in the exact
That's what
same?
I'm saying. I mean, I think it's just the type of player you are.
I would rather just say the waiting affected him negatively,
Yeah.
but it didn't affect Rahm negatively. Because saying it screwed him,
Brooks, but it didn't screw.
it didn't screw Brooks though.
But I think that
Brooks didn't have the ability to
what I'm
overcome
saying.
them. Well, then it didn't
that screwed
screw
him.
Mo.
Yes.
Let's understand something here. If the exact same event can happen to two people with different outcomes, it wasn't the event.
It was for that person.
No. It's kind of like I can't make you mad. You can feel anger, but I can't say anything to make you mad. You can be angry with me and get upset by something I've said, but my saying of
Well,
you...
that's a very controversial statement.
It's not controversial.
Because what makes the offended party the correct party? It's the same thing.
No, there's no such thing as... No, I'm not saying it's correct or not correct. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, Mo, if I called you right now a douchebag, how would you respond?
All right.
Exactly, right? Now, if somebody you really hate walked by you and go, douchebag, what would you say?
Probably say something.
Yeah,
That it
the
wouldn't
exact
be
same word, the exact same everything, but your reaction was different.
Yeah.
Or if it's still me saying it, but during a contentious event,
Yeah.
it would be taken a lot differently, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
So Brooks got screwed on Sunday. And but that was a really good Masters. And now we want to go next year.
I didn't realize, yeah, we're going to go next year.
Yeah.
Don't follow us there. I was actually surprised. I didn't realize Brooks had won 4 majors already.
Yeah. He didn't
win the Masters yet, though.
No, he has not won the Masters. Back in, was it 18 or 19? He was on a tear. He was just locked in. And then he had his knee injury, and that was kind of the...
So the knee injury screwed him?
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Knee injury did screw him.
Nick laughed.
But I think that knee injury and another injury, I think it was his hand or something, that prompted him to go to Liv, I think. But I will say this. I think that if he didn't go to Liv, he would not be in the position he is today because he gets more rest time. He doesn't have to compete in as many tournaments. And I was like, maybe it did help him in that regard.
When I was watching Full Swing, I don't blame Dustin Johnson. What Dustin Johnson said, it's like, so wait a second. They offered me more money to work less. Why would I not do that?
Yeah.
And was it you who asked me or somebody asked me, do you think the PGA Tour will take them back if Liv fails? Was it Dalton?
Yeah, it wasn't me.
100% the PGA Tour is going to take them
They're
back.
the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And there was a funny comment. A reporter asked Brooks after the round was over, something to the effect of, oh, you Liv players showed that you can compete at this level. And he's like, well, we're the same people. And they're like, oh, so you think you can compete with the PGA? And he goes, Well, I just finished second at the Masters. I think I proved it.
First off, that reporter should be shot in the face if that's exactly what was said.
It was something like that.
Oh my gosh.
But like when I was listening to it, I'm like, and the way he answered, I was like, yes, that was very appropriate.
So I don't have this visceral hatred of Live Tour. I don't have any hatred for Live Tour.
I don't have any. I don't see how people are so like.
They're
angry.
really angry
It's
about
insane.
it. Now, do I want the PGA Tour to do better than Live? Absolutely, because But I also like what the Live Tour did. Like people aren't realizing
They
that they
broke the players a little bit free.
But Liv's got to be successful. Like to me, if Liv goes away next year,
PGA is
hypothetically,
going to go back to what it was.
yeah, and I would say, okay, you guys didn't really accomplish. But if Liv sticks around, I look at okay, this is pretty
They
good.
just got a TV deal. I mean, it's the CW they got a TV deal with, but it's better than their high school YouTube page that they were running. Oh my God. Like they were doing like, they have the beautiful shot tracer and stuff. For them, it's like shot tracer goes up and then the ball just goes like this into a bush. It was
No
like,
way.
that wasn't accurate.
Come on,
It's bad. It's really bad. And then like on screen, you know how your scores are all the way off to the left?
Yeah.
Well, theirs are like 3/4 of the way into the screen. And I'm just like, what the hell is what is this? Looks like high school put it together. Anyways. Bitcoin crossed 30,000.
yeah,
Back, baby.
Bitcoin's back.
Actually, the thought popped into my head this morning. I need to short Bitcoin.
So Coinbase is up a lot, and I thought about, what do you short when you short Bitcoin?
Just BTC USD, the ticker.
Is it all 6 of those letters?
Yeah.
Okay.
BTC. That's what it is on TradingView. BTC-USD.
Okay. Can you look up if there's options for it? I doubt there's options for
Let's
it.
see here.
Because that's what I'm doing is I got a short Coinbase in terms of.
So I'm using Webull. So if it's not on Webull, then it's not going to be anywhere, right?
All right, what do you find?
Okay, so I'm not seeing any options. And then I also thought of something else. I have Schwab or Merrill or E-Trade, but I'm not going to be able to trade. Like I would have to open some type of crypto exchange, I would think, right? To short, or I would have to short an ETF of Bitcoin. Oh, maybe there's an ETF of Bitcoin.
Well, that's all I want to find out. I've been doing Coinbase.
That's probably a very
Because Coinbase is up
strong
7.5% today.
Yeah. Bitcoin. So we were talking in the car driving here about
Somebody get me a napkin.
about doing options and shorting in that way.
Well, just trading with options.
trading with
Long and
options,
swing
I should
trading
say.
with options. It uses leverage, so there's a lot more volatility in there. But
Right.
I'm not going to do it on big percentages of my accounts. But if I can do that, it might be able to. I don't know.
And it could be. It's
I
kind of
like trading. I just think it's great. I think it's a fun way to make some money.
income. Yeah. And it's nothing crazy, but it's gonna keeps you active.
Correct.
Let's see here. BITO. That's the one Gianni always does.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. BITO. So there are options here. Let's go. This is at $17. Let's go 31 days out. Oh God, there's like no activity.
Yeah. What's the volume on this one?
Okay, so you could probably get. So current price is
Oh.
$18. Go out 30 days, $15, 25 cents. That's not the greatest.
That's pretty good.
It's okay. I
That's
was expecting more
that's
from
for
like
what?
Bitcoin.
For what though? A call?
That's a put.
Well, why do I want to put?
Let's go look at a call.
No, I want to. Tell me what the. Well, how far out does it go? How far are the dates?
We can go way out.
Yeah,
We can
how
go
far?
647 days.
What date is that?
January 17th of 25.
Okay, do that, and tell me what the $20 call is. What's the premium?
Last one was $2.82. It's probably right now $2.20.
What's the open interest? Is there any open interest in it?
Let's see here. 10,247.
What? Really?
Yeah.
All right, so if I took 100 contracts on that, that's $22,000 in premium, basically shorting that. On a what's the $18
There's
call?
better options. The $18, $3 right now.
Okay.
Open interest there, 832. That's
Boy.
pretty bad.
Well, I mean, that's not terrible. It's just funny to me.
Maybe BITO is not the one to do.
How am I spilling everywhere?
I don't know.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there a hole in my cup?
I don't know about that.
Maybe it's my tongue. Maybe I hit the Dalai Lama. I had to bring that in somehow.
Okay, so did you read the stories about it? Because I
No.
did not. I just looked
So
at the headline.
what I said, remember I said, I don't know if it's a cultural thing. Mikey said he watched the video. He thinks it's more of a cultural thing. Well, what do you think?
I would say cultural. I don't think that the Dalai Lama is going to sit there and ask children to suck on his tongue for no reason.
In front of everybody.
Yeah, I think, look at Nick. I think it's cultural. It's like something where he's going to bless them, or they're going to bless him. They're definitely going to bless him. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a doozy. That was a doozy. I laughed pretty hard when I saw that.
Do you have any interest in going to India?
Lisa literally asked me that last night. What do you think?
No.
No, I'm saying, what do you want to do?
Oh, I don't want to go there.
So I told her, I'm like,
not
listen, I've got one friend in India and he's very wealthy.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have to experience you know, in a rickshaw
Right.
on the Ganges River.
Right.
But then I think to myself, what's the purpose of going?
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not like I'm going to see, you know, I mean, I guess the Taj Mahal, but isn't that pretty much it? I don't know. And somebody's going to be like, you're ignorant, Paul. I probably am. I don't know. But
I feel like if
then she said Dubai.
I go to Dubai.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Have you been to Dubai?
No.
See, I never have either.
I've never been there. I would probably resist, and then when I got there, I'd be like, oh, this is pretty cool.
My understanding of what?
Of India.
Oh, I 100% agree. Listen, my friend who lives in India is like, Paul, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But the thing is, it's not that for me. It's what would I do there? It has nothing to do with like it's just what would I do there?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's
I
not
don't know
like
what there's
it's
to do
like
there.
there's plays to see or, you know.
I'm sure there's a list of things to do. I mean, it's huge. There's got to be a lot of stuff to do there.
Are there golf tournaments in Dubai?
Yes. The Liv
tennis
Tour played
tournaments.
there last year.
There's tennis tournaments in Dubai.
I don't know if they're playing there this year, but they played there last year, I believe.
Live tournament?
Yeah, the Liv.
Why don't you look it up?
I will.
Because that to me is like,
I don't think it's this year.
that's to me is like the thing I want to do. I want to go to, maybe we should invite Monish and go to India with him.
It'd be fun. He goes every December.
Does he?
Yeah.
When? We went with him, probably
He,
end of the month.
he went like literally a day or two after we left.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So let's see. Liv is in Singapore.
You should email
London.
Monish and say, Monish, what should we do in India if we go?
He goes every year.
He still answers your emails, right?
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
There's one in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia this year. Any interest?
Where's that?
It's like I think it's the capital of Saudi Arabia, isn't it?
No.
What's the capital of Saudi Arabia?
Riyadh?
Maybe it's that.
No, it's not, is it?
I don't know. I know Jeddah's a big city. We would always have to pass through there when we were going to Bahrain.
Bahrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riyadh. I was right.
Riyadh.
Look at that.
Very good. Look at you
Good
and your
job.
geography.
Yeah, good, Paul. You know, geography was my favorite back then, back in school.
I hated every subject in school.
I hated English.
Me too.
Well, the reason I hated English was because
You know,
we were reading books, and then English teachers would ask you obscure, random questions that had nothing to do with the idea of the book, just to make sure you were, you know, paying super close attention. Which I get, I understand that. But I remember reading The Grapes of Wrath, and the teacher in a quiz asked, "What was the animal on the side of the road?" or something like that. It was turtle, and I'm like, "What the f is this?" Like, it hasn't. I mean, maybe I'm missing something, and somebody could explain to me, "Well, Paul, what you don't get is fine," but I just didn't like it.
We were supposed to read it. I never read that. Of Mice and Men, any Shakespeare. I wasn't going to do it.
Tell you what, Catcher in the Rye, did you ever read that?
No.
Everyone loves that one. It's a great book.
Really?
Yeah.
The Great Gatsby. I didn't
Oh,
even do
great
that
book.
one. Yeah,
that was my favorite book for the longest time.
Very uninterested in anything that an English teacher wanted to tell me.
I know. I hated English.
Same.
Hated it.
So my senior year of high school, you had to read Of Mice and Men and write a paper on it, and that was your final submission. If you didn't do that or you didn't pass that paper, you were not going to graduate. So I did not do it. And my friend decided to write the paper for me. And he was very big into English. Like, he went to film school. He was a very good writer and everything. Yeah, I wasn't going to watch it. I'm not interested.
Well, first off, please have to worry about, does the movie accurately portray?
correlate?
Yeah.
So he just goes in the night before and just writes all this stuff, and it's just such inaccurate information about, like, I don't even know. So I turned it in, and the teacher, thank God, this was my third time having her, and she was friends with my mom. And she's like, "Who wrote this?" And I was like, it was me. And she's like, "No, you don't know how to use punctuation like this." And I was like, it was Tom. And she's like, "I knew it. I could just tell from his writing." I'm like, "Please just give me a D so I can get the hell out of here." She did.
Wow.
Thank God. God, I hate
A
it.
D.
She's like, "Just get me out of here."
That school sucked. I still did well in it.
I didn't. I didn't.
I
give a-
hated school.
I literally went there to
It's just
play
the
baseball
wrath of
and
my
leave.
parents.
Yeah, I didn't have to deal with that. Thank God. which is funny because my dad's Middle Eastern.
Yeah, I know. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah. Did you see that, segueing, Tesla cut their prices for the 5th time in 2023?
Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
Is it the 5th time this year,
5th
really?
time this year.
Wow.
That's wild.
But you know what? I was just talking to Mike Williams last night about
Demand
cars. I was talking about cars last night, and I was like, because I was teasing him about charging $1,000 over MSRP for Honda.
Are they doing that?
Oh, yeah, he has to. He's like, Paul, we're not getting cars in, and everybody understands, and it's fine. But I was telling him, like, I just wish the car industry became like Tesla. And it's like, this is the car price. If we want to spur demand as a company, we will cut the price. But you basically choose where you're going to go. And the other thing is, to me, it puts more on customer service on the dealership. Because now, if I'm going to pay the same price wherever I'm at,
You get to choose.
I'm going to go buy from the dealership that gives me the best customer
Yep,
service.
exactly.
I'm not going to
And
go
if they
buy.
don't, you're going here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, somebody made the argument, Paul, buy from this dealership because they give you a cheap price and take your service elsewhere. But I'm like, no, I just want to be able to go reward the dealership who gives me the best customer service.
Yeah.
I would really. So I was teasing him. He goes, the negotiation thing's stupid. He's like, well, he started doing hard about negotiation. I'm like,
Negotiation is so
I was like, you know what the thing is, Mike? I go, all you people who love negotiating car prices, you also buy stocks for no apparent reason whatsoever, and you guys waste tens of thousands of dollars buying stupid stocks, but you're so happy because you saved $1,000 more in that car versus somebody else who just walks in and goes, I'll take it.
And the thing is like every single thing in this room right now, we know the price of.
Yeah.
And if there's
So he said to me, he goes, you can negotiate at Best Buy. I'm like, you can?
I don't. I've heard you can. Who the hell does that?
The only thing I've ever seen Best Buy do is if they put a big,
TVs.
and they'll match Amazon price.
there's no
but I'm not
negotiating.
sitting there going like, oh, here's my speaker that I want. Like I want to pay $74 for it. It's $99. No.
Yeah. And also like everything in a car, we know the price of a car.
Yeah.
Just give me the price. Best car experience I ever had was buying a Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did it too. So ordered the car online. They told me when it showed up. I walked right in. I signed a couple of papers. Now, granted, I didn't have a lease. I was like, what was the process if I had a lease, or not a lease, a loan? And he was like, you would have had to sign a few more papers for the state of Ohio or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I signed 2 or 3 papers, and I walked.
And you
outside.
paid online too.
I paid online.
It was great.
And I was like, where do I bring my check? Because I called them, and they were like, oh, it's online. And I'm just like,
Yeah, then you just go online, you click the thing. I had an ACH out of my bank account.
I got in the car, and I rolled down the window. I'm like, now what? He's like, go. I was like, okay, see ya.
That's it.
That was it. It took me 2 minutes to pick up that car and sign
I wish
those documents.
I wish car manufacturers were more about that.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey, you're gonna pay the same price no matter where you go, and it's all about customer service.
Yeah.
Because every dealership says we're all about customer service.
you're
Fine, prove it
not.
to me.
No dealership is about customer service right now.
Yeah, they don't need to be.
No, it's
You can take a shit on your chest, and you're still gonna buy the
You're
car
at the
from them.
mercy of them. All right. What are you gonna do?
And Mike was like, well, for decades, the consumer had the benefits. Now the dealership is going to have it for a few years. I'm like, Mike, I'm not denying the fact that you guys I'm fine with that. I'm just telling you, like, for permanent reasons, I just want to have the freaking, Paul, this is the price. And somebody might say to me, well, Paul, you can just go in and pay the price. I'm like, I know, but when you know there's money to be left on the table, it's hard to just walk away, especially on a car like a Range Rover or not a Tesla. But I'm like, it's so obnoxious.
It is. Doesn't AutoNation just say the price and you buy it?
Might be. Those are used cars, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Is it CarMax or AutoNation?
I think it's AutoNation that does it.
And a lot of dealerships now are doing it in used cars where they go, this is our price on the internet, and unless they drop the price, that's the price.
I like that.
Oh, I love it.
I didn't like negotiating when I bought my.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I mean, I was sending out emails to everybody, and then, they do come back. They come back for your price. In
on
some
used
cases,
cars?
On used cars.
Oh, yeah, on used
I
cars.
left them, and I was
Listen.
like, I'm not paying a dime over this. And 3 weeks later, they come back. He's still interested. I said, my offer's still on the table. They took it.
Yeah. Something happened to me with Lisa's car just recently.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, they had this price.
Oh,
and
that's right.
I was just like, yeah, I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
The whole car buying experience. Just give me a price. I walk into a dealership where I like the person and I just go, thank you. And I give you the money and we walk away happy and not like, well, let me see here. I'm not willing to do it unless it's this price. No. I don't get it. And it's always, and the funny part is every single person I know who brags about negotiating cars, there's literally an inverse correlation between their love of negotiating cars and their competency in investments. The more they love negotiating cars, the dumber they are in investments. And the less they look at like financial statements. I'm like, if you just spent 1/10 the time researching a company to understand what value is, what free cash flow is, all these things, and I spent 1/10 the time negotiating a car, you would save tens of thousands of dollars in your career,
Yeah.
probably hundreds of thousands from not being so stupid.
Not just $700
yeah, it's so dumb.
on whatever. Let's see.
So I guess I'm an animal because I bought a new car.
It's true. You're no longer an animal.
Oh, sorry. I'm no longer an animal because I bought a new car.
Yeah,
But the new car I bought was cheaper than buying it used, so
it's true.
that's why. But
Person we know called us animals for buying new cars,
used cars.
used cars.
Because we always buy used cars
We don't
before.
buy- yeah.
Before this whole debacle started, he called us animals, and we're both wealthier than him, which is
Correct.
funny.
Yeah.
And
He goes, "What are you, an animal?"
yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm an animal.
I would have bought my Tesla used.
I would
had
buy anything.
Could
Listen,
have, but it was the first model year.
My
And
car.
so was
yeah,
yours,
it's
first
just
model
you
year.
can't. Yeah. And you just have to look at the used versions. Oh, they're $30,000 more. Then I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah. I like used cars. There's so many, man, there's so many used cars out there that are like that. The Range Rover I got was 10,000 miles on it. The guy barely drove that thing, barely did anything in it. I'm sure it was one of his fleet of vehicles, and he had it for a year and moved on quickly.
Yeah, and yours was like a $107,000 car. The Range Rover I bought.
111.
So the Range Rover I bought, not this, the one that's like yours,
Yeah.
was 107. It was a year, 2 years old. No, a year old, a year and a half, with 17,000 miles on. I paid 75,000 for
Wow.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine
Why
was
would I
either-
not do that?
Mine was either 111 or 112. I have the paperwork. I could look, but it was. I paid 88.
Why was yours more? There was a reason why yours was more.
There was, and I don't remember what it was, but I do remember
Mine was diesel.
we were comparing the two, and there was.
but they were
something.
like literally exactly the same car, except
Yeah.
mine was diesel and yours wasn't.
Yeah.
Yours was a V8.
No, I have V6. Yeah, I don't remember. But I remember we were comparing them, and I was like, yeah, that's why.
well.
But yeah,
God, I just can't stand the whole car negotiating thing.
I don't like car dealers either.
Do you think Bill Gates negotiates cars?
I think his people do.
Really?
I do. I don't think that he just goes out there and pays the price.
I don't think so either.
ask
But
price.
who's like, what does he do? Does he walk in a dealership and go like, yeah, what's your best price here? You know what I mean? Bill, in literally the time it took you to ask me what's your best price,
You made
the car price. Yeah. So like, what's the deal? Like, literally at some point you're just like, what is going on here?
Yeah. There's not another car that I want. Well, I guess my truck is going to be new, but
That's
a
actually true
brand
though.
new model
You bring
year.
it up. Like, I'd probably send a friend and say,
Yeah.
go find. You know what the
He
thing is?
sends his manager or whatever.
I'd call Mike Williams. Just like, Mike, just go find me this car, please, and throw
negotiate it?
go throw $1,000 on it for you.
I'm sure that's what he does. I'm sure that's what he does. There's no way that he just sends his people in there and just buys cars straight up.
I mean, when I'm saying cars, like not as luxury, not as super rare like Porsches that he buys.
Different
I'm talking about
story.
like when he buys a Taycan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Porsche probably calls him and says, "You're awesome. We're just gonna give this to you for invoice, and you're just gonna drive it around."
Yeah. So what's your next car now?
Nothing.
I don't believe that.
I'm fleeted out.
I don't believe that. Something's going to happen here. Something's going to happen here.
Tim.
Paul's used
Tim
car
came to the car.
emporium.
Tim came to the car this morning. I'm like, "Don't start, Tim." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "I know you're gonna say something." And he said he wasn't going to.
Car Emporium.
Paul trades out cars like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, but the last 3 years has made it very profitable for me to do so.
It's
Like
true.
the number of cars I've had and the number of time I've had and how much money I've lost is like literally $800 a month. It's been nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
think,
that's funny.
I think we're gonna like take some videos of like Paul buy his cars, like over time, and then one day we're just gonna slip into the videos like a used car commercial, and we'll like take clips of.
Do
Paul
you
and
like
we'll
this
make
car?
we'll
Just
make
wait
like
till
a bad
Paul's done with
voiceover.
it because he'll hate something. We literally got in the car today. I'm like, I think I want the black interior.
Yeah. What his next car is either going to be
I said it today.
I think it's
We
gonna be a
got it for
Ferrari.
lunch, and I said, I think I want the black interior.
it's going to be a Ferrari Portofino. Or,
No, it's not.
Or another Range Rover.
No,
with
it's
black interior.
So there is a second Range Rover.
Timestamp this.
So wait a second, time out. In fairness, there's another Range Rover on order. But if I do take it, I've also probably made 30 grand on this one. So I make money by switching out the Range Rover if I really want it.
It's true.
And I really like the black interior.
I told you the black interiors.
I've always liked the black interior, but I had no options. Remember the black interior I wanted, the guy sold from
they
underneath
sold
me.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's not going to be.
I can't wait.
It was so funny. So Mo texted, text Nicole and tell her what I just said. And she wrote, "You don't say."
He said, I texted her and said, Paul doesn't like the interior of his new car. And she goes, you don't say.
Oh, but if I want to sell this car tomorrow, like literally Tony's like, Paul, I'll get you 30 grand more than you paid after
that's
taxes
good.
on it.
That's good.
He's like all day long.
Yeah.
After taxes, you'll be in. I was like, all right.
I was just casually talking to Tony the other day, and he's like, what's your next car you want? I'm like, I'm like,
G-Wagon? Did you say G-Wagon?
no, I didn't. I was like, I want a Ferrari. And he was like, okay, let's get you a Ferrari. I was like, no, not right now, because I know Tony will just get on that. I'm like, no, Tony. Maybe in a couple of years. G-Wagons. Yeah, I really want a G-Wagon.
Those things are sweet.
Talk about markup.
I know, 100 G's over.
Yeah, I was
100 G's over MSRP, guys.
I found this sweet G-Wagon in California from the guy I bought my previous Mercedes from, and he was like, he sent it to me at 165. I'm like, okay, I mean, that's a lot, but then I was like, what's your price? He goes, 265. I'm like, damn, 100 over ask, and then 100 over MSRP. He texts me the next day. He goes, Mo, it's sold. 265. Those things are flying off.
So like
the
I
shelves.
said, if you're a billionaire in California, do you care?
No.
If you're not even a billionaire, if you're just a celebrity and you
No.
make $20-30 million a year
You don't care.
and you just want that car, do
Yeah.
you care? Knowing full well that if you don't like it in a month, you'll probably get 240, 245 for it.
Yeah.
You don't care at all.
The new G-Wagons are really nice.
Oh, they're awesome.
With the new screens. Was it 2021, I think was the new one? You drove Bam Bams, didn't you?
For like literally a mile and then turn around.
I've only sat in one at the dealership. I've never driven one. Now, I drove the old ones. My God, that thing was all over the road. That thing, it drifted.
That's the one I had.
Yeah.
2004 I had.
Yeah, I drove 2014, I believe it was. Man, those
And
things-
that drifted?
That drifted like crazy. The guy told me, he's like, here, go drive it around, have fun, you're going to drift. And I was like, I don't even know what that means.
And then you figured it out really
And then
quick.
I figured it out real fast. And I was like, okay, I'm getting a Range Rover, not this thing.
Oh my God, the NASDAQ's only down 0.2 now. S&P's up 0.2, Dow's up 0.4.
So earnings season begins Friday. Banks kick off Friday. What everybody's out there, well, this is probably what makes me believe that it's not going to happen. Headline story on Yahoo this morning was, earnings is going to tip the United States into a recession. Where basically everybody acknowledges it. And earnings overall are going to miss by like 15% and this and that.
Was it the Yahoo Finance?
That was the
article?
Yahoo Finance
Yeah, I read
by
that one.
Miles Unland or whatever his name is. Yeah.
What's the 30-year average mortgage rate right now? On Tuesday, April 11th, 6.87 it says.
Whoa.
Sorry, 6.73.
That jumped.
No, sorry.
Are you okay?
For a new purchase, 6.87. For a refinance, 6.98. Okay.
Wow,
that's
that
according to
jumped fast.
bankrate.com.
Who's refinancing to 6.98?
I know.
It's not. That's the thing. You're not refinancing 6.9. Although I do know somebody. I have one person I know who would save a lot of money refinancing at 6.98.
What is their rate?
8.5.
What?
When?
They took it
What?
20 some years ago and have not refinanced since.
Why?
Trust me when I say it's been a long yelling process. Just laziness. Not laziness, but there are other issues, but
Don't tell me
still.
this is your
They could
father.
have been at
Oh no.
They could have been at 2.8, 2.9,
Yeah, 3.
3.
What in the hell? You don't
And
even have to do any work to do
And
it.
their house mortgage is like $350. So do the math. That's like $1,000 a month. And I'm not trying to embarrass them, but there were other extraordinary circumstances. So I understand why. But I was like, go fix these. So now but even now they could still save money. They'd still save $300 or $400 a month refinancing now.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. You don't even have to really do that much for it.
I know.
Submit some docs and it's over.
I know. But anyways, that's who's paying 6.8 right now is people who are buying new houses.
New homes,
Refinances, I would love to. What are the refinance numbers? I remember recently we looked at it. It was like 99% of mortgages currently are below the current rate. And that's when the mortgage was like 6.6%.
Yeah. What's that story Dalton sent today? Where was that? U.S. banks lost money for mortgages they financed last year for the first time in history.
Wow.
That was from Watcher Guru on Twitter. Interesting times. I am interested to see what's going to happen this earnings season, especially with those in the computer market, because you saw Apple did like 40% less deliveries or whatever the hell they did. those types of companies are coming back to reality, coming back to pre-COVID numbers after that big spike in the PC market. So I wonder if the market will penalize them for that. And then we were talking about Meta yesterday. The spending at Reality Labs the losses there are insane, which is fine. They can absolutely afford it, but I'm going to be anxious to see how the market reacts if those numbers come out. Yeah. Any companies you're looking at now that you're excited for?
You mean to buy?
Mm-hmm. Like now. Like you would pull the trigger on.
I think T Rowe price is selling for an interesting price. The only problem with T Rowe is, as the markets go lower, is their price is going to collapse.
Yeah.
I think there's a good argument to be made for T Rowe. It's got a good balance sheet. If you assume 20-year growth rates of like 3, 5, and 7 with reasonable margins, I think it makes a lot of sense at this price or lower. Mm-hmm. Again, don't go buy just as I'm saying that.
Yeah, of course.
Do your own research, of course. But I don't know. I just think that Generac, the only problem with Generac is their revenue really skyrocketed in the last couple of years after COVID. And is that sustainable? I mean, their profit's already down from so December 2022, they made 50-some million. December 2021, they made like 130 million. Now, that's 1 year to 1 year. I don't know what the exact reason
When's
is.
the last time they got a big bump like that?
Like 2007, 2006.
Oh, okay. So scary times again.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well, I think there's still companies that can make decent sense, but in terms of bargain buying,
you're not finding it now.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't think that
even a lot of I was talking about my puts this morning. I mean, they're abysmal. It's hard to find anything right now, unless you go way out. And even if you go way out, I mean, it's still not fantastic.
Yeah, correct.
So we need to get this. I hope that the earnings season kind of brings this stuff down. You know, it was funny. We were talking about if you take out tech right now, you're not seeing if you look at the Russell 2000, which is IWM is the ticker. This is what it looks like. If you look at the NASDAQ, it looks like this. So you strip out tech and your market's not moving. It's actually moving down.
And tech's very overvalued.
Tech is very overvalued.
Unless you're just following a story and that's all you care about, if you look at the fundamentals, that story has to be really effing good to match that. And it's just hard.
It is very difficult. I don't see how it happens, but crazier things have happened.
Crazier things have happened.
So
we just avoid until it makes sense to us.
Yeah.
It could be at higher prices.
Yeah, for sure. Values are going to continue to climb. So
intrinsic
value will continue to climb.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be maybe, I don't know, who knows? 2 years down the road, maybe we are paying 160, 170 for Apple.
And being happy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Well, good episode.
Yep.
A lot of topics covered all over the place, but I think people have said they like hearing us talk about normal stuff.
Yeah, it's way more fun.
Is it way more fun?
I think so.
I like talking about the investment stuff.
Stand at the board and talk about investments all the time.
Yeah, I know, but I just like the ideas of talking about general things as opposed to, like talking about now.
I feel like that's more normal stuff anyways.
Maybe.
Can't have a
I like the idea of talking about how Apple could be a good buy at 165, 170 at some point in the future, but right now it's not. And somebody might sit there and say, well, if you just bought it when it was 120, and it's like, well, yeah, but how many times would you buy a company at 165 that wasn't worth some 165 and then the value never recovers? That does happen too.
It happens a lot.
So
yeah, exactly.
Eventually.
All right, guys.
All right. Next podcast episode is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be giving Mo's a huge Office fan, and I'm going to be giving him trivia on The Office to see how many he gets right.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you guys.